Look, it's always difficult to drop points technically at so close to the end of the game, but just your thoughts and reflections and just the whole second half and the game overall.
I think first and foremost we go to the Emirates and play a game like we did, and then come here and drop points. It's unacceptable. We know as a group of lads that if we want to, compete at the top, with the teams around the top, we need to come here and win. And I think that we missed a few chances in front of net, but ultimately we need to do better collectively as a team in defending the goal if we're going to hang on to a 1-0.
What do you put the difference down in terms of the intensity? You spoke about the mentality of what you created after you beat Arsenal on Wednesday, and to comparison to what you saw today. What do you put that difference down?
I think sometimes it's football, sometimes it's emotion, sometimes, but that's no excuse. Every game should be treated as the same as a cup final, and especially for what we're competing for, which is, the toughest league, I think, definitely in the world. Yeah, listen, I've got nothing to say. What can I say to that? It's unacceptable. We know it's unacceptable, and we have to move on from that. But we have to stick together as a group. We win, we lose as a group, we score as a group, and we'll concede as a group, and we have to move forward as a team.
Well, the disappointment obvious in Kyle Walker's voice, almost struggling to describe exactly how they came away with only a point. How would you describe that performance from Manchester City, Shaun?
I think possession, they dominated from start to finish, but you have to go back to Dad talking about Arsenal missing key chances in that little purple patch they had, like losing against Everton, and then the draw, and then losing against City. In all those games, they created chances, and they didn't come away with the result they wanted. And I think the same has kind of happened here for City. City created more than enough chances to put that game to bed, and they didn't. And Forest, on one attack, created one chance, and they score that goal.
How do you explain these missed opportunities?
You know what? I'd probably put it down to, when you looked this chance for me. He's got to pass that quicker. In the end, he has a poor touch. That's not a half chance; it's a full chance. I think that is a chance you have to score, unchallenged. You think to yourself, well, maybe City have gone into this game. They were very ruthless against Arsenal, and they're thinking, well, we're going to create loads of chances. That is not a half chance, full chance. That is not a half chance, that's a full chance. And, you're thinking to yourself, they're probably feeling like, oh, we're just going to keep getting chances. But then what happens, like Kyle Walker rightly said, this league, man, it's the toughest league in the world. So, and you don't take your chances, they get the one chance, bam, and they score. That can happen in this league.
The writing was always on the wall, was it not? From Nottingham Forest, despite being under the cosh for so long. But with there being just the one goal in it, Shaun, this was a clear danger, right? Yeah,
it's always a chance. I think at 1-0 it's always a dangerous scoreline, and Forest did really well here to create this chance, and Wood to peel off at the back and get his tap in. It was, for me, a well-worked goal, and that they deserved the goal at the end of it.
Brilliant goal. And like you say, they didn't have many chances, but the one they had, they were brilliant with it. They were very clinical with it, starting from the back. The passing was very good. Wasn't enough to, they weren't tight enough on them, Forest. And then when they just needed it, Brennan Johnson just went past the player right at that time, took him out of the game, and then Chris Wood, who just came on as substitute, scores the goal. But again, it's a situation where you underestimate a team like that, and they got that right. And when they did get it right, they're capable of scoring.
Yeah, from the outside looking in, clearly lots of football left to play of this season, but the nature in which Arsenal picked up the points in stoppage time and City dominating Forest in the way they did and dropping points, could this be a significant day in the title race, or is it too early to say?
I think the way both teams are playing, I still think it's still too early to say. Even when City played Arsenal, I still thought whoever won that game, it wasn't nailed on that they was going to win the title. So I don't think much has changed yet. I think in general, both of them have got difficult fixtures coming up, home and away, that they have to be on form. Plus, they're both in Europe. So there's a lot of football to be played.
Yeah,
I think that when City beat Arsenal the other day and went top, like I mentioned, word ominous. You feel like with their experience, what they know, what they've done, you're feeling like, right, they're going to do it. They've got Forest, in and around the relegation zone. And, they score when they scored, and you're thinking they're going to romp away with it. But like I say, you have to see it off. You yourself have to see it off. Like City, you can see how disappointed they were, and they didn't. And that hopefully for City's sake will get them thinking, right, we need to really focus on what we're doing here.
It really has been a dramatic... Welcome back to half-time at the City ground, and Manchester City are leading Nottingham Forest by 1-0. The goal coming just before half-time. But for 40 minutes, the game plan was working for Forest here.
Yes, yeah, they were getting bodies in front. We knew that City, what was it, 84% possession, so we knew that City were going to be putting them under a relentless pressure. You can see it here, just a good block, really good block. The amount of bodies, you see the amount of bodies in the box. You know, it's going to be very tough for them to create some kind of chance again. Good block from Aurier there. And then they get it away. You know, there's not much they can do in respect of attacking, but, you know, you look at, you know, they've just got so many bodies in the box, and City knows that this is going to happen. And this is the thing with City, is that they just keep going, they just keep attacking, and you hope that they can get the breakthrough, but then, you know, you've got people putting their bodies on the line like that, and, you know, it's going to be tough to break through. You know, Phil Foden running with it, cutting in the box, look at the amount of bodies in there. You know, and this is what I said earlier on, Manish. You're going to have to do this for the whole game and have that kind of luck, but it never lasts.
Yeah, a bit like you mentioned for Arsenal in the earlier game, patience is key for these two challenging at the top end. Now, before we get to Bernardo Silva's ultimately decisive goal in the first half, a minute or two earlier, there were warning signs from him before he struck.
As City are doing, they retain possession, but he plays a nice 1-2, goes inside, and I shout shoot here, but he takes another touch and it was a near miss. And I think he does well there, but I feel like that's the sort of stuff you have to do when they're sitting that deep, because it's hard to find those little spaces. But in here, like I've been saying, it's a lot this season that the edge of the box is always free. I think Grealish does really, really well here. He delays everything, finds the right pass, and this is just a fantastic strike. There's not power there, it's all about the connection and the way he hits across the ball that puts Navas, makes him step a little bit to the left, and the strike is so sweet.
You get that view from behind the goal, actually.
Yeah, and sometimes it makes all the difference. People don't know. Once you're not set, look, there it is, bam. So he's not set, and, you know what I mean, it's one of those that it's probably come through, but like some bodies, and he's seen it late. But, you know, it's what they deserve. You know, 84% possession. They were really going for it with the possession, man.
Yeah, but clear-cut chances were at a minimum, really, for Manchester City. Rodri had a decent chance.
Yes.
What should he have done better here?
Well, the thing is that when you look at, by the time he does get in the box, he plays it out wide here, then he gets in the box unchallenged. And all you've got to do there is, you want to head it back where it's coming from, what he's done. But I think he's just got too much on it. All you want to do is get this on target. Let the goalkeeper save it rather than miss the target. But he's not done much wrong, but he's put a lot of head in that. Look, bang. You want to kind of get that off your forehead and just kind of guide it towards that post, and hopefully it can curl in. But it's good movement from him. You know, you can see how disappointed.
It's one of those days, so many chances. On another day, you could have won by 4 or 5 and you end up with just a point.
Yeah, you said perfectly. So we did a really, really good game, except the goal that we defend without commitment, our central defenders. But yeah, it was a really, really good game. So we did everything. We played perfect. We had an amazing chances. We were going to see the game. We could not believe it, but it's football. You have to score. So we didn't do it, and that's why we dropped.
Is it difficult to be critical because the performance was generally so good?
Yeah, we did everything. So I had to score. So yeah, you have to do it. So there's too many clears. So too many clears to score. But yeah, we played really, really good. One of the best games we have played, but we dropped 2 points.
Were you disappointed with the defending for their goal? Because they didn't have many chances, did they?
Yeah, just one. Yeah, but it's football, so Premier League went right, but they should be. But in that situation, we should be more aggressive in that action. But it's happened. It's football.
You got a yellow card in the game. Can you tell me what happened there?
Yes, it was. Well, you saw it, isn't it?
I saw you get the yellow card, but I didn't know what it was for.
Well, Erling go 1-on-1 against the keeper, fell down, and I thought it's the last man, should be given a fault, but they didn't do it. Sometimes they are offside, sometimes they are not offside. So it's what it is.
So you thought it should have been a red card, that's why you were angry?
I don't know, I didn't see the image. I said looks like, so Haaland go 1-on-1 against Navas, why should go down if he's not being pushed? But we didn't lose for that action, so we didn't draw with that action. So we play a good game, we miss chances, and that's all.